What is going on, Pretender here, back with another Honkai style guide, and today I'm here with the full build guide for the first character in 3.1 being Tribbie. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you over her kin Eidolons, then I'll be taking you over some Lightcone recommendations, followed with that will be both Relic and Ornament recommendations, and then finally the stat recommendations for both the Mainstat and Substats for Tribbie. So all I want to say, before I get into the video, if you guys find this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, dropping a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new or haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for future videos like this along with all other types of Star Rail content. If you know anyone that may need a Tribbie guide, send them this video so they can learn how to build her. Check the description to join the Discord and also check out my second channel, and let's get straight into the video. So Tribbie is a quantum character following the path of harmony. Her basic attack deals quantum damage equal to 30% of Tribbie's max HP to one designated enemy, and deals quantum damage equal to 15% of Tribbie's max HP to adjacent targets. Her skill gains Numinosity lasting for 3 turns. This duration decreases by 1 at the start of this unit's every turn, while Tribbie has Numinosity, increases all allies all type res spend by 24%. Her ultimate activates a zone and deals quantum damage equal to 30% of Tribbie's max HP to all enemies. While the zone lasts, increases enemy targets' damage taken by 30%. After an ally launches an attack, for every 1 target hit, deals 1 instance of quantum additional damage equal to 12% of Tribbie's max HP to the target that has the highest HP among the hit targets. The zone lasts for 2 turns. The duration decreases by 1 at the start of this unit's every turn. For talent, after other ally uses ultimates, Tribbie launches a follow-up attack dealing quantum damage equal to 18% of Tribbie's max HP to all enemies. This effect triggers 1 time per character. When Tribbie uses ultimate, resets the trigger count for other ally characters. If the target was defeated before the follow-up attack is launched, then launches the follow-up attack against new enemy targets entering the battlefield. For technique, after using technique and upon entering battle, obtains Numinosity lasting for 3 turns. For her bonus traces, her A2, after using talent's follow-up attack, increases the damage dealt by Tribbie by 72%, stacking up to 3 times and lasting for 3 turns. For A4, while the zone lasts, Tribbie's max HP increases by an amount equal to 9% of the sum of all allied characters' max HP. And her A6, at the start of the battle, Tribbie regenerates 30 energy. After other allied targets attack, Tribbie regenerates 1.5 energy for each target hit. For her Eidolons, her E1, while the zone lasts and after allied targets attack enemies, additionally deals true damage equal to 24% of the total damage of this attack to targets that have been dealt additional damage by the zone. For E2, the additional damage dealt by the zone increases to 120% of the original damage. When the zone deals additional damage, further deals 1 instance of additional damage. For E4, while Numinosity lasts, the damage dealt by all allies ignores 18% of the target's defense. And her E6, after Tribbie uses ultimate, launches her talent's follow-up attack against all enemies. The damage dealt by the talent's follow-up attack increases by 729%. Now talking about some Lightcone recommendations for Tribbie. Overall, the best option is obviously going to be your own signature Lightcone, which provides a 36% increase to crit damage. After the wearer launches a follow-up attack, additionally regenerates 12 energy and gains Presage, which will last for 2 turns, and while the wearer does have Presage, all allies' crit damage increases by 48%, and when entering battle, the wearer regenerates 21 energy and gains Presage for 2 turns. So as Tribbie is a sub-DPS in some forms while also being a harmony character, having a good crit ratio is going to be nice, so this Lightcone providing you crit damage at base is going to be great for her actual ratio that you can do for more damage. And on top of that, you can provide allies a lot of crit damage. 48% is a really big increase for supportive capabilities, so this Lightcone providing that alone on top of what she already provides in her base kit is very good. Another very fantastic thing about this Lightcone is it lets you set up ultimate very quickly, practically right away at the start of the battle, and it also very much helps you get your ultimate fast when you are building a lower speed Tribbie. So if you're not doing something like a 120 speed Von Walk or maybe even like a breakpoint speed Tribbie because you're gonna have energy issues, with this Lightcone you can easily just go a pure base speed or less than base speed build with the Poet set, and you will be able to get ultimate right away at the battle, and then it's going to be up for a long time and you're going to be able to gain enough energy thanks to the fact that this Lightcone gives you energy for follow-up attacks and is going to be still reliant on other allies using ultimate, and you're still going to be able to refresh and have this up practically at all times for the ultimate. So the ultimate is going to be able to stay active throughout the duration of the battle, which is what you definitely want, and that's why this Lightcone is such a broken option to use, overall making it one of the best options you can use. When it comes to other options Tribbie does have, another really good option for her setup is actually going to be Dance Dance Dance, as it does provide a 16% advance forward for all allies when the wearer does use their ultimate. And so anytime you do use the ultimate on Tribbie to refresh the duration of her ultimate and the zone, you are now also going to be giving an action advance for your entire team, and then at S5 it does become 24%. Preferably you would have this at S5, but it's still also fine at something like S3. If you have something at S3, that's fine. S1 still does work, and since Tribbie is going to be cycling all as much as possible to have it up as much as you can and try to permanently have it active, in those cases you would be using ultimate a lot, so you're constantly going to be getting an advance forward, which is going to be really good. And so just like using this on some other support characters is why it's going to be such a powerful Lightcone, because at base it's already such a powerful Lightcone that you use on other Harmony supports, and the same does hold up for Tribbie, which is why it's another great option you can use. Now past her signature and past Dance Dance Dance, you mainly just want to use a Lightcone that does provide energy, and there isn't too many options. One of them is going to be Memories of the Past, which gives an increase to break effect, which you can practically ignore as it's not too important. It's mainly for when the wearer attacks, additionally regenerates 4 energy and cannot be triggered repeatedly in a single turn, and it becomes a lot more powerful with refinements because you do get more energy back when you do have more refinements on it, giving you up to 8 energy at S5. And this is going to be fantastic because now anytime you do use the follow-up attack, you're going to be getting even more energy back thanks to this Lightcone, which is going to help you a ton when it comes to cycling your ultimate, as other Lightcones really don't provide enough energy as opposed to her signature Lightcone. But since this Lightcone does let you cycle more energy for every time you do attack, and as Tribbie does attack when others are using ultimate, because she's able to proc up that actual follow-up attack, that's going to give her even more energy thanks to this Lightcone, which is also going to help her cycle ultimate a lot more, and then obviously keep up the ultimate even longer, which is why this is a good Lightcone option you can use. And really the only other option you do have when it comes to Lightcones when it comes to giving energy is going to be the 3-star Meshing Cogs Lightcone, which I'm just going to have at max level because it is a 3-star, so it's pretty common for the fact that you probably do have this at S5. And what it does is after the wearer uses an attack or gets hit, gets 8 energy and cannot repeatedly trigger within a single turn. So it's pretty much just like using the Memories of the Past Lightcone, minus the break effect, which again isn't really too important. This is practically the same thing there, and it also does apply to when you're getting hit, so if you do get hit with something like an AoE in battle, that's going to help you even more because you are gaining more energy back, which is why this Lightcone is also another option you can use, as it will help you cycle the ultimate and help it up at least for a good amount of time. Again, unfortunately there isn't really many options when it comes to not having a signature when it comes to these energy cases, especially if you're trying to build something like a slow Tribbie, as Memories of the Past and Meshing Cogs can't really help you in that case because they do not provide enough energy. That does not mean they are weak in any sense, these are still powerful because they do give you enough energy for some other setups you can do, and that's why something like Meshing Cogs is another option you can use. Now when it does come to relic sets, when you are doing a very low speed build, which is usually accompanied by having something like the S1 especially, so you can get early ult and also keep the ult up, poet set is going to be the best 4-piece you can use in that case, as it's going to be the best for her own damage output. The 2-piece provides a 10% increase to quantum damage, and the 4-piece will decrease the wearer speed by 8%. And before you do enter battle, if the wearer speed is lower than 110/95, increases the wearer's crit rate by 20%/32%, and also applies to the wearer's member sprite at the same time. She does not have a member sprite, so you can ignore that last part. But running this is going to be very powerful for her own damage, as this will allow you to allocate more stats to your HP and crit damage, which is going to further increase the DPS your Tribbie can do. And the 2-piece is also increasing quantum damage, and as she does deal quantum damage for being a quantum character, that's going to be an increase there, and getting up to a 32% increase to crit rate if you have less than 95 speed before going into battle is super good, since as I already mentioned, that allows you to allocate more stats in the HP and also crit damage, which is going to further increase the amount of damage your Tribbie can do, and Tribbie can deal a lot of damage, so that's going to be a fantastic thing. But this relic set is only going to be optimal when you are running a base speed Tribbie, which for the most part is going to be the most common one. Reason I say often accompanied with S1 is because the S1 does give you a bunch of energy and allows you to get early setups. Without the S1 it becomes a lot more difficult, and then there, even without running the actual poet set, there are some setups like running 120 speed with Von Walk, maybe breakpoint speed with running the DDD Lightcone just for energy output and also more output you can do. There's a lot of variation when it comes to that, but overall the best thing you can do is this set running base, because it's going to be the best for her own damage output as well. Another option if you are able to hit the right breakpoints is actually the Eagle set. 2-piece is useless as she does not deal wind damage, but the 4-piece after the wearer uses their ultimate advances forward their action by 25%. This will allow you to have more output, so you can also not only get more energy, but the faster you can get more energy, that means you can have more uptime on your ultimate. More uptime on the ultimate does mean you can refresh the actual follow-up attack triggers you can get from the talent. The only thing is you definitely want to make sure you don't end up using the set and expiring your ultimate zone very quickly, as there will be times where you do use the set and you might not be paying attention, or you may just not have the correct tuning, and you're going to be getting the action forward, but it's also going to actively be griefing you rather than helping you, as it's going to expire your turns, because the faster Tribbie gets to act, the less the turn duration goes up. And now you had 2 turns that go by, your zone is no longer active, and you also may not have enough energy to actually get another ultimate. Which is why if you are using the set, you definitely want to keep into account for your tuning, and if you do tune correctly and you do have the right energy gained, then this set can be very powerful. The damage will not be as good as running the Poet set, but it's still a situationally good set you can do. Another set you can do is 4-piece of the actual OG Quantum set. The 2-piece is the same as the Poet set, giving you 10% quantum damage, and the 4-piece, when the wearer deals damage to a target enemy, ignores 10% defense. If the enemy has quantum weakness, the wearer additionally ignores 10% defense. This 4-piece, while good for damage, the Poet set, if you're going for a DPS output build, is definitely just going to be better. But that's not meaning that this one's bad in any sense. Getting up to a 20% defense ignore is going to be great for her own damage. But since the Poet set does provide you also getting quantum damage like this one for the 2-piece, but the 4-piece letting you allocate a lot more to crit damage and HP especially, that's why that's a better DPS set. But if you do have good genius pieces just laying around, maybe while you do farm a better set on the Poet set, or maybe even the Eagle set, in that case, you still can actually use this 4-piece for her damage output, because again, defense ignore is good. But once again, this would kind of be a thing where you don't really have any other option, and this would be one of the last options you would go to, but it's still something you can do. And anything past that would be combining 2-piece, so you can do 2-piece of the Poet set for the quantum damage, and then you can combine that 2-piece with the max HP set, as it does give 12% max HP. And as she does want HP, the 12% increase to max HP is going to be beneficial, which is making this a good option for 2-piece. So 2-piece max HP with 2-piece of one of the quantum sets, so 2-piece Poet or 2-piece Genius set. Or you could also do 2-piece of one of those, and you could do 2-piece of one of the speed increasing sets if you are not doing a base speed Tribbie. So if you're trying to hit 120 speed, or maybe even a breakpoint speed if you're doing a certain setup, then a 2-piece of one of the speed sets, so Relieved, Ordeal, or Hacker Space, definitely can help you with that. This is going to be significantly weaker than running a 4-piece, so 4-piece Poet set at base speed is overall going to be the best for her damage output especially, or situationally if you are able to do something good with speed tuning, then Eagle set's great. Those are going to be your main go-tos, but the other ones mentioned are still options you can do. Now, when it does come to some great Planar ornaments, the first one I'm going to talk about is the brand new one coming out in 3.1 with Tribbie. This one is going to be the best for her own damage, as it does provide a increase to max HP by 12%, and when the wearer's max HP is 5,000 or higher, increases the wearer and their memo spread's crit damage by 28%. So as I mentioned, you would be building her with some HP, so this increase to max HP is really good, and this is giving you up to a 28% increase to crit damage, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. And getting over 5,000 HP is definitely going to be something you would have on your Tribbie, so this becomes an also free 28% increase to crit damage. So for Tribbie's personal damage, this is going to be one of the best sets you can actually end up using. Another really good one for her own personal damage is actually going to be Inertial Soto, as it does provide a 8% increase to crit rate, and when the wearer's crit rate reaches 50% or higher, the damage dealt by the wearer's ultimate and follow-up attack increases by 15%. Her sources of damage is going to mainly be her ultimate and especially her follow-up attack, so both of these getting a 15% increase to damage is going to be very nice. On top of that, you do get some more crit rates, so that's going to be nice, as just running something like the Poet set is not going to be enough. So the extra 8% this set does give you is going to be nice, and the 50% or higher crit rate is definitely going to be something that you already definitely want on your Tribbie, and a lot more than that. So that's a requirement you don't necessarily have to worry about, so you're also practically just getting a free increase to ultimate and follow-up damage, which is why Inertial Soto is another great set for her own personal damage. When it does come to more supportive sets, Lushaka is a great set, as it does provide 5% energy regeneration rate. So that's good if you don't have something like S1. A little extra energy regeneration rate could help you with that. If the wearer is not the first character on the team lineup, it increases the attack of the character that is first on the team lineup by 12%. So pairing her with a hyper carry character that does benefit from attack percent, such as the Herda or Aglia, is where this set's going to be good, because you definitely do not want to run this on someone that's not going to benefit from attack percent, so someone like an HP scaling character. So if they do definitely benefit from the attack percent, primarily the main hyper carries we do have nowadays, in those cases this is is going to be a good set you can use on Tribbie. Another set I do want to talk about is the Von Walk set, as I've already mentioned sometimes throughout this video in certain cases, providing also a 5% increase in energy regeneration rate, and when the wearer's speed reaches 120 or higher, the wearer's action is advanced forward by 40% immediately upon entering battle. So once again, the extra 5% energy regeneration rate is going to be helpful, and letting you hit 120 speed practically lets you go first before anyone else, so you're going to be able to set up really quickly, and also allow you to get a pretty early ult in the battle. This also still does count as having something like a slow Tribbie, as you are not necessarily going for breakpoint, you are just going for the 120 and then getting the action forward at the beginning of the battle, allowing you to set up, and then your Tribbie returns back to having 120 speed, where it's definitely on the lower side. The only problem with running Von Walk is it will no longer allow you to run the Poet set, as the Poet set does need you to have less than 95 speed going into battle, so this becomes impossible because you do need 120 speed, so you would be forced to use a different set when it does come to her main usage of a set. But that still does not mean Von Walk is weak. Von Walk is still very powerful for setups on Tribbie, making it another option you can use. If you also just want to get Tribbie to 120 speed, then Jades is another set you can do, as it does provide 12% max HP, which is going to be good for her own zone damage and own personal damage. And again, once you have 120 speed or higher, giving everyone 8% attack increase is going to be nice if they do benefit from attack percent. So a bit of a buff for Tribbie as well, as you are getting max HP and then also buffing your allies as well. Technically, you can also use this without getting 120 speed, so you could still do a base speed with Ageless. You will lose out on the 120 buff by giving everyone 8% attack, but you still are giving Tribbie some max HP. It just becomes a bit of max HP. It's a bit of a waste. I definitely recommend just farming something else in that case, but it is still something you can do. But if you just get her to 120 speed, you are not giving everyone else attack and also giving Tribbie some max HP. And if you keep her at a lower speed, then you are just practically just giving Tribbie max HP, so that's another thing you can consider. The last set I wanted to talk about for a supportive set is going to be the Pentaconi set, which only does apply to Quantum based teams. So if you are running her with a Quantum based main DPS, then this is a set you can use, as it also provides a 5% energy regeneration rate, so that's going to be helpful, and increases damage by 10% for all other allies that are the same type as the wearer. So if you are pairing her with any current or potential future Quantum DPSs, then this is a option you can use, as once again the 5% energy regeneration rate will be beneficial, and you are also increasing the damage of that Quantum ally by 10%. Again, only will apply to other Quantum based teams, as if you are not running on a Quantum based team, it only becomes a 5% increase in energy regeneration rate, and at that point you are better off running a different set. Did say that was the last one, but I did forget to mention Broken Keel is another option, as it's your generic supportive spec providing effect res. Once you do have 30% or higher effect res, you give everyone 10% crit damage, so it's practically just some free effect res, hitting a certain amount, giving everyone some crit damage, so it's a nice buff there. I definitely recommend leaning more towards the supportive DPS, so running the new set or Intercell Salto or something like that, because Tribbie can deal some nice damage in cases where you can allow that. But if you're doing something like a Von Walk specific setup, then that's definitely more on the recommended side as well. But even in those cases, Broken Keel is still an option you can use, as it is a good supportive set. For the main stats on the Relics, for the body you want to use either crit rate or crit damage, corresponding to which one you do need more. For the feet, you can either do HP percent for a base speed build, which is going to be the most common, or you could also do speed boots if you're trying to get it to something like breakpoint or 140 plus speed, or maybe you have no rolls and you're trying to get her to 120 speed, you just run speed boots to get you up to where you do need. Depends on your options, and depends on something like if you're using S1 or not. Most cases, if you have S1, you are definitely easily going to be able to just do a base speed build and profit off that, but in other cases, speed is still an option you can use. For the orb, you want HP percent, and for the link rope, you can do either HP percent or energy regeneration rate. HP percent, you're practically only ever going to use if you do have her signature Lightcone. Any other case, I definitely recommend going energy regeneration rate percent. When it comes to substats, firstly, if you are doing anything that is not a base speed build, you want to focus on speed. Getting her up to the 120 speed or whatever you are doing is going to be your priority at first, because obviously if you can't hit that and you're not doing a base speed build, then there's practically no point in building speed at all. So that's going to be the first priority. If you have that or you're not doing anything related to speed and you're doing a base speed build, then you can ignore that part. Then it is practically just stuff like HP percent and also something like crit damage and crit rate. Generic DPS like rolls, rather than attack percent, it would be HP in this case, so HP percent, crit rate, crit damage, and also something like flat HP can help there. Good crit rate, crit damage is definitely going to be beneficial regardless of the build you are doing, as more crit rate, crit damage will help you crit consistently and do more damage to the enemy. As I already mentioned, Tribbie can do good damage, and more HP percent will help with the extra damage you can do in there as well, and plus the zone additional damage. So once again, if you're focusing anything that is not base speed build, then speed threshold is going to be your first priority. Past that is more HP percent, crit rate, and crit damage. And that is the full build guide for Tribbie. If you guys found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, dropping a like would be greatly appreciated. Once again, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for future videos like this along with all other types of Star Wars content. Hope you found the video helpful. Peace out.